What hurts narcissists 1000% more than you think? Hey everyone, welcome back to the Narcissist Exposed channel. I'm really glad you're here today because we're diving into a topic that's not only fascinating but also incredibly revealing when it comes to understanding the psychology of narcissists. If you've ever dealt with one, you've probably wondered, what really gets under their skin? Well, in today's video, we're going to explore exactly that. By the end, you'll have a better understanding of what truly hurts narcissists, and trust me, it's probably 1000% more than you might imagine. So, let's get into it. Alright, so first things first. When you think of a narcissist, you might picture someone who is completely self-absorbed, seems to have an inflated sense of their own importance, and craves admiration from others. They seem invincible, right? Like nothing you say or do can ever shake their confidence. But here's the kicker. Narcissists are often far more sensitive than they let on. Beneath that thick layer of arrogance and grandiosity, there's usually a fragile ego that can be hurt in ways you wouldn't even expect. You see, narcissists live in a world where their sense of self is like a delicate house of cards. They work tirelessly to uphold this image of superiority and perfection, and any little thing that challenges that can feel like a direct attack on their identity. And that's where the real pain begins for them. One thing that hurts narcissists far more than most people realize is rejection. For most of us, rejection stings. Sure, but we move on. Maybe we analyze what went wrong, grow from the experience, or simply let it go. But for a narcissist, rejection is a much bigger deal. It's not just a moment of disappointment, it's a direct threat to their carefully constructed self-image. When someone rejects a narcissist, they're forced to confront the idea that they might not be as amazing as they believe themselves to be. And for a narcissist, that's devastating. Think about it. A person who thrives on admiration and validation suddenly being told, "No, you're not good enough," or "I'm not interested," that's like pulling the rug out from under them. And here's the thing, they won't just feel hurt on the surface. That rejection can send them spiraling into deep emotional turmoil. It's why narcissists often react so dramatically when they're rejected. It's not just bruising their ego, it's shaking the very foundation of who they think they are. But rejection isn't the only thing that really gets to them. Another thing that can hurt a narcissist 1000% more than you'd expect is criticism. Now, none of us particularly enjoys being criticized, but most people can handle it to some extent. Maybe you get a little defensive or upset, but eventually, you can take the feedback and move forward. For a narcissist, though, even the mildest criticism can feel like an all-out assault on their character. Why? Because narcissists often lack the emotional tools to process criticism in a healthy way. They don't have that internal voice that says, "Hey, maybe there's some truth to this feedback, and I can use it to improve." Instead, their mind goes straight to, "How dare you challenge me?" They'll feel exposed, vulnerable, and even humiliated, which is something they absolutely cannot tolerate. To protect themselves, they might lash out or completely dismiss the criticism, anything to avoid facing the reality that they aren't perfect. The need for constant admiration and validation runs so deep in narcissists that any crack in their armor feels like an existential threat. They can't simply brush off criticism or rejection as a normal person might. It digs into them, shakes their sense of self, and leaves them reeling in ways most people don't fully appreciate. And this brings us to something even more subtle but equally damaging to a narcissist: indifference. You see, narcissists thrive on attention. It doesn't always have to be positive, even negative attention can fuel their ego. But what truly hurts them perhaps more than anything else is being ignored. Indifference is kryptonite to a narcissist. When they don't receive any reaction from you, it's like they cease to exist in your eyes, and that's something they simply can't handle. In a way, narcissists are like emotional vampires, constantly feeding off the energy and attention of others. So when you deprive them of that attention, it's like cutting off their life source. They crave the spotlight, and when no one's watching or caring, it's a blow to their ego that can be more painful than outright criticism or rejection. It forces them to face the possibility that maybe they aren't as important or special as they think they are. And that's a hard pill for any narcissist to swallow. Let's also talk about something that's a bit more abstract but equally powerful in hurting a narcissist: vulnerability. Narcissists pride themselves on being invulnerable. They project an image of strength, control, and superiority, and they go to great lengths to hide any sign of weakness. But deep down, they're just as vulnerable as the rest of us, perhaps even more so. When a narcissist is forced to confront their own vulnerability, whether it's through personal failure, loss, or emotional pain, it can be incredibly damaging to their sense of self. They spend so much time and energy trying to appear invincible that when the cracks in their facade start to show, it's like their whole world is crumbling down around them. Vulnerability is something they avoid at all costs, but when life inevitably forces it upon them, the emotional toll is immense. And that brings me to another point, one that's often overlooked when we talk about what hurts narcissists: the loss of control. Narcissists are control freaks. They want to control how others see them, how situations play out, and how they're treated by the people around them. But life doesn't always go according to plan, and when a narcissist feels like they're losing control, whether it's in a relationship, at work, or in any aspect of their life, it can send them into a tailspin. Losing control means they're no longer able to manipulate the narrative. They can't control how others perceive them. And that loss of power can feel like a personal failure. For a narcissist, losing control isn't just frustrating, it's deeply wounding. It's yet another reminder that they're not the all-powerful, superior being they want to believe they are, and that's a reality they'll go to great lengths to avoid. So, in summary, what really hurts a narcissist 1000% more than you might think? It's not just the obvious things like rejection or criticism, although those certainly hurt them deeply. It's the more subtle and often overlooked things like indifference, vulnerability, and the loss of control. These are the things that strike at the heart of their fragile ego and can cause them immense emotional pain. While they may project an image of strength and superiority, underneath it all, they're far more vulnerable than most people realize. Alright, everyone, that's all I've got for you today on this topic. I hope this video helped shed some light on what truly hurts narcissists and gave you some insights into their psychology. If you've ever dealt with a narcissist, or if you're currently dealing with one, hopefully, this information will help you navigate those tricky waters with a little more understanding. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, I appreciate your support. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, take care.